Hello, everybody. This is the Captain Huck. Who dis? I don't have too many guests here. Ro was here earlier. You brought me home on Tumblr. Also, Captain Hook podcast on Tumblr, and it is Pip.
Hello, I'm Pip. I am Pirate Hero Killian on Tumblr and Pirate Hero Jones on Twitter.
Okay. This is going to focus on details that we've gleaned from the premiere episode, Hyperion. As we're going into this episode, like no expectations, because throughout the summer and the fall, I'm very, very good about not spoiling things like at all. For reasons, because this is so fresh and so. They didn't want us to go expectations for knowledge of what was happening, having no idea of what was happening. And I know that a lot of people decided to tune it out, but for those that didn't, and those that want to keep strong with it, I just want to say before we start, this is only the first episode. We don't know a lot of information yet. We only very surface. They haven't gone far enough for us to learn yet. So I would suggest before making judgments that we give them at least a couple more episodes to solid. Nobody posted any questions for this episode. I guess we'll just kind of go off the cuff here. So good.
Yes.
What did you think?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a refreshing start to the story. It was a nice reboot. I think there wasn't quite enough Killian in it from my
observation of the episode.
Sorry, what?
Pip, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I knew that was going to... Pip?
Yeah, I'm here.
You were saying?
I'm sorry, what?
On with your...
Oh, my personal thoughts on the episode. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good, refreshing start, especially for people that really enjoy that sort of story that got into it with season 1. I thought there wasn't enough Killian in the first episode, in the first half of the episode, I should say, because once the second half, got going, he was in a lot more of it. But other than that, I thought it was really, really good. I thought the introductions of the new characters were great, and the introductions of the returning characters were great. And I thought it was a solid first start to a reboot show. So, yeah. That's my initial thoughts on the episode.
I thought it was pretty solid, too. Storyline-wise, it was pretty solid. My only issue was, like, the characters fit. Especially with Danya as / just like she was a normal, everyday, single, trying to make her way. Because we're still filling the characters out, or just it's gonna take me a little more time to figure her out, figure out how she fits. Flashbacks before there were a lot more nuance as to like how they fit with what was going on in modern day. But this was just like straight in, oh my God, she's there to kill the prince because he destroyed her family, and there's no deeper nuance to her the tracks, a lot more depth, connect what's going on on both sides of this. It's hard to really make a judgment. Like I was saying before, I think they did a decent job. They felt very surfacey. Oh, and I've been following her career for a long time. Seeing her in, and I like over the top in this character's shoes. I'm like, do not try to do Gina. It's not going to work. There is one difference with this character, is that this character doesn't like magic. Magic, he removed doesn't, except for she used the fairy godmother's wand to kill the fairy. Let's see, for Adelaide Kane playing Drusilla, I want to say we only got a couple minutes of her, and she was very like, and self-absorbed. There wasn't a character, and
your audio,
I'm sure.
Your audio keeps cutting out really bad. I cannot understand half the things you're saying.
I know, it's because of the headphones.
So
can you hear me clearly now?
I can sort of hear you.
Hold on.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but there's feedback.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can got you.
All right. Like
Nope, nope,
Yeah,
there it
it was
goes.
very surfacey. Not a lot of nuance in death. Again, it was there wasn't a lot to go on. We'll get deeper into their characters, what their motivations are, so on and so forth. I Drew's performance. I saw a lot of. I think he really did his research, because just watching him on the screen, I could tell that he took a lot from Jared's performance. He had a lot of that sassiness and the eyebrow that Emma has, and a lot of that inner strength that Regina has. Like speech that Hook has. So he has a lot. He researched
Your
all
audio
those
again.
facets.
I'm not getting most of the stuff you're saying.
Huh?
I'm not hearing most of the stuff you're saying again.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you when you ask the question, but once you start talking, it cuts in and out.
Is this better?
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. It's, like I said, once you start going, it starts.
I'm going to try a
out.
different set of headphones. Hang on just a second. Okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. I was saying that I was really impressed with Andrew's performance, because I felt like he, as far as taking in all those different nuances and character traits, not only from Jared's performance as Henry, but the performances of all the adults who influenced him: Hook, Emma, Regina, Charming, Snow. So he's a very well-rounded performance. There were times when I felt like it kind of dragged a little bit, but that's just kind of indicative that his life is very ho-hum, and he's kind of lost his drive for better. And in the episode where he's starting to get back a little bit of that hope. I was actually pleasantly surprised by Lana Paria's performance, oddly enough. Ronnie isn't. We don't know much about her as a character, but she's interesting, and it's weird because it's ironic to see her playing Regina in that type of role, because we know that Regina has no regrets, as Ronnie said, but she doesn't tend to stand up for the little guy very much. She tends to stomp on them. So it was kind of ironic and weird to see her in that way. But I liked her little hope speech at the end, which again is an ironic thing, because she's making hope speeches. She's the one that doesn't like the hope speeches.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But I know that your big thing was Rogers.
Well, yeah.
I love just being able to see, I love just being able to see Killian Jones drive a car. I was like,
I knew that was coming. I knew that's where you were going with that one. Yeah, that was. I just
like, oh, he's driving. So, what is your thoughts about Colin's performance as Eagle Scout?
My thoughts are many on the Eagle Scout. First of all, I love the Eagle Scout thing. I think it's absolutely perfect because you have. I know that the desk cop that says it is mocking him for being a good cop or whatever. He's calling him an Eagle Scout, but I love it because he has no freaking idea that the guy he's calling an Eagle Scout is Captain Hook, like one of the most notorious villains, you know, in fairy tale history. Is the guy who will kill anybody just because he's in a bad mood. You know, he's calling him an Eagle Scout. I freaking love that. And at the same time, you could see Colin's performance was brilliant. Of course, I'd say that about any of his performances, but he's that good. You could tell like Colin's been talking about how he's playing a guy where something's missing from his life, or he's sort of, you know, he's kind of, you know, he's a good guy, but he's kind of like lacking somewhere. And you could tell that the way he carried himself, his posture was very different from, you know, Killian. You know, as we know him, Killian's very, you know, very confident, very self-assured, and Rogers, he kind of slouched. He seemed kind of despondent in his body language, but he wanted to do good. He wanted to help Henry, and when Henry started this, you know, get snappish at him, he was like, "I'm just trying to help you." He's just like another person who's just, you know, yelling at me, even though I'm just trying to help. It was just, and then. There was also moments where you could see like Killian Jones bleeding through, like in the very first moment, and I didn't notice it was on the first watch, but on my second or third watch of that scene, there was the moment where he pulled his coworker's chair back when he jumped in and said, "Don't worry, I'll help you." He pushed it back, and there was a moment where you're like, "That's Killian Jones. That's the captain of a pirate ship." You can tell that he's in charge. Even though in this persona he's not, you get to see that little glimpse of the person that he actually is. And then, of course, there's the whole Weaver now being his partner thing, and I think that's genius, absolutely genius. But yeah, I love Rogers. I want to protect him. He deserves happiness, and of course, the moment when he recognizes Emma was, yeah, all around. I thought the whole Rogers thing was perfect, absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's a detective.
The moment
actually.
that Rogers came on the screen. Hello?
Hey.
Hello?
Yep, that's me.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying I'm glad that he's a detective because he gets into more stuff like that. Probably what he was doing as deputy with Amber back in Storybrooke.
Yeah, that's another thing that I was kind of I enjoyed was how they went, right? He became a cop. We just saw him become a deputy in Storybrooke, and now he's a cop in this in Hyperion Heights, and I think that's a nice a thread that they're carrying through from the finale into this. So I thought that was an interesting, nice little parallel.
I really liked as soon as Henry walked into the, or actually as soon as Henry noticed that his card and so on, I immediately was like, "Oh, Rogers is coming! Rogers is coming!" Because I've been waiting like almost the whole episode where I was like, "Where is Rogers? Where is Rogers?" And when he showed up in that first scene, saying, "You know, at least there's still some people here that actually want to be cops and want to reminisce." In him, who's just trying to help people and trying to be the best that he can be, and you know, be the Boy Scout, I guess. But when Henry's frustrated that his card doesn't seem to be turning up, even though Rogers is looked everywhere for it, he kind of gives him a little lip, and then Rogers looks at him and goes, perhaps you should try to be so antagonistic, considering I'm the only one here that's trying to help you out. I'm like, Killian. That's definitely Killian Jones right there.
Yeah, Henry, respect your stepdad.
He's so good at playing Killian, but not like even his accent was still kind of the same, but yet different and more casual. He didn't, how Killian has a very refined way of speaking, with very refined words, because he went to the academy and he was an officer, so he has very, different languages like Greek and everything like this. But this guy's he's cultured but casual. Like he's not like with all he didn't quite speak in that refined way. That he's kind of more chav. I guess you could say it if you're from.
The very specific moment where it kind of hit me that he was even doing like a different, like the way he was talking was even slightly different than Killian, was when he walks into the police station and the desk cop says, oh, congratulations, Eagle Scout, or, good job, Eagle Scout. And he says, and Rogers says, what are you talking about? And the way he said that, it was like Killian would never say it that way. Just the way he said, I think it was the word talking was what stood out for me the most. I was just like, that was slightly different. So, yeah. Even Colin does such a good job of just creating nuance when it comes to the different versions of Killian.
So, what have you guys talked about so far?
We were talking about just our general thoughts of what we thought the episode was like, if we thought it was good or bad, or just general.
I would say
What are your thoughts?
It's passable for me. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It's just another episode. A very, very non-Emma appearing episode. But I'm fine with that.
I mean, that's going to be the whole season, though, so...
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, the crocodile never had Emma in it.
Yeah, I know.
But we still love that episode.
Yeah, but she was not there because obviously Jennifer Morrison isn't there to be the character now, but there was a lot of hints of her throughout the entire episode. Like, Henry had her necklace as his keychain, mentions of her, and just his mannerisms were, especially in Hyperion Heights, that was all Emma before, from the very early days. And just, she's there. And of course, Rogers saw her picture in the book. So she's there. It's just she's not there physically, but she's there in spirit, I guess. The heart of Emma is still a part of the show. At least that's how I felt watching it. And I think Andrew's going to do a good job of bringing that into the story, bringing Emma into it, even though she's not really there.
I think I'll feel better once I know what's really going on. Like, from Killian's point of view, like how he started on this journey, which I think we're going to get next week. And then I'll really decide if I want to, keep going, weekly. I mean, I'll watch the whole season, I'm just not sure if I can do the whole once a week thing just yet.
Yeah. I'm watching weekly, but
and it's kind of odd, starting an episode with a very different Killian. But, you know, as you guys already said, there is parts of the old Killian in there. What I'm a little curious about now is how this all happened for him from his point of view. Like, I mean, and how it fits into the timeline from what we've already seen. I mean, we can talk about spoilers here. I mean, we've all seen the sneak peek for next week, haven't we?
Yeah.
So I get the idea that he's given this bottle to Henry, like, to send home if he ever needs help. And Henry obviously speaks the name of his favorite pirate and his two mothers, and they end up coming to this new realm. But for some reason, Emma has to go back. Either there's another child, or there's some other reason. But what completely took me by surprise was that bit in the promo with the two hooks.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised by that. Because it's been a popular speculation for months now that there could be two Killians, like as in like another, like a witch version Killian or a clone. And I've been very counter argument to that theory. So seeing it, I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. So I kind of, but at the same time, this isn't the first time on the show where there's been two versions of a character in the same scene. Like David faced himself when he was facing his fears. Killian punched his past self in the Captain Swan movie. So like it's not complete evidence that it could be a clone or another a duplicate of Hook. It could be his past self meeting his future self again. But yeah, I wasn't surprised by it at all. I was kind of like, well, this is going to be interesting, which I hope it's not a clone or a duplicate, because those situations never really end up all that well in my experience with that in stories. So
I was thinking maybe time travel.
That's what I was saying. Like it's a future version of himself coming back to warn him about what's going to happen or tell him what he needs to do or that sort of thing. Especially because what made me think that is when he says, we need to talk. And like, there's something that he knows that the other version of himself doesn't know. Like if it was just a duplicate, they would have the same knowledge and the same memories. But there's something that one version of himself doesn't know. And that makes me kind of think it could be time travel, especially because obviously there's time travel involved when you get, you know, adult Henry coming into a scene with Emma and Killian, but Emma and Killian haven't aged, so it'll be interesting to see what the twist is here. And Collins seems to think that it's going to be something that's a big surprise for a lot of people, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, well, we've got Rogers, so I think that explains that. We're just not sure whether or not Captain Swan will get a good resolution or not.
Oh, I think they will.
Yeah, Colin's been pretty adamant that they've gotten their happy ending, so I guess we just have to wait and see. But I think for this particular episode, it was a good introduction to Rogers and the kind of person he is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of his character, and it's an interesting contrast between the obvious police brutality you would expect from someone like Rumpel with Weaver, and I was getting a bit of a Training Day vibe, like just from that last scene.
Yeah.
You see, that thing about Weaver, okay, this is what irked me. I would like to have thought that if you're coming in with a cursed persona, that you're at least going to attempt to play the character in a different way. And he really did not. Like, he was
wait. Wait. You're assuming that he's cursed, that he's not awake.
I know there's that he's awake and knows what's going on, and maybe he's trying to draw Killian in, but just drowning some poor motherfucker in a tub. Okay? I mean, okay, at first, when he had to give Henry that stuff, the poison, or not poison, but the champagne that's obviously drugged at the ball, and it caused him to go into this weird psychotropic like drug haze, and she's trying to warn him not to continue on because you can't interfere in somebody else's story. That's a very Ruppel thing to do. But
yeah,
with Weaver like trying to draw, if he was gonna try to go somewhere in Hyperion Heights to somebody he knew for help, the fucking last person he would go to is Jones, his mortal enemy. He would sooner go to Regina.
No,
who he doesn't.
No, I disagree. I disagree. Now there's one. Even though maybe he is cursed, but you can't curse the Dark One. You can't. He's still the Dark One, no matter what happens. So that darkness is still going to come out of him. That's still inside of him. That can't be, they can't be bottled up. We've never seen a Dark One be able to actually successfully bottle up that darkness for very long. Even Emma gave into it at certain points. But also at the same time, if he's not cursed, he's going to want to draw out the people that he knows are going to be able to. He might not like Killian, but he's always used Killian. He's always gone to him and be like, if he needs him, he's going to use him. And if he's not cursed, Rumpel could be thinking, what's one of the strongest aspects of Killian Jones? What's going to be drawn out of him more than anything else? There's two things. It's his love for Emma and his vengeance to want to skin himself a crocodile. Rumpel could be betting on that to draw him out. Because maybe he's thinking there's no amount of curse or whatever that could make this pirate forget that he wants to kill me. Or at least, get the better of me. That's my way of thinking of it. But of course, he could be cursed. I don't know. There's a lot of... Weaver is one of those characters that they specifically, purposely left mysterious. Kind of like Alice. They left her mysterious for obvious reasons. I think she's a Dark One, in my opinion. But
I think as the episodes go on, like in episode 2, the one that's coming up Friday, we're gonna get more background. Hi,
girl.
Like what led up to Hook being there in the first place, what happened with Emma and all that, and in episode 4 we get the information about what's happening with Belle and how Ruppel got there. So as these episodes come and we get more info about the curse and how all this happened, because they say the one thing that's irking me is that they said that in the first episode they were going to lay bare this whole explanation as to why like Henry aged and nobody else did, and they still haven't done that yet. I want to know what the fuck is going on.
I think when they said that, they thought it was going to be the first episode, but it shifted to the second episode.
Yeah.
Because remember, Jennifer Morrison said that she thought she was going to be in the first episode, and it shifted to the second episode that she was in, not the first one. So I think they decided that they wanted to put that sort of info dump, that sort of, grab you with these new characters and kind of get your interest in it, and then move into the explanation of how these returning characters have, because that Friday's episode felt like that sort of info dump sort of episode,
I guess.
That sort of beginning sort of, here's the jumping off point. We're going to start from here, and then once we jump, you're going to start getting into the depth of why Hook is here, why Rumpel's here, why Regina's here. I mean, Regina's kind of obvious because her life is Henry. So it's kind of, but I think that they kind of wanted to not just jump right into, because they were trying to really emphasize that this is a new story with the old story underneath. So they can't really go right into the old story from the beginning.
Yeah.
So Daniela, since you're here, what's your initial thoughts?
Well, I totally like the episode But at the beginning, I was not gonna like it. I was like, but then when I start to see it continue, I think maybe I'll give it a chance, see how it goes. But I have to say one thing. I am very impressed with this guy Andrew playing Henry. He definitely pulled all the shots, and I liked Gabrielle who played Lady Tremaine. She put the itch and bitch, because that's how the real Lady Tremaine that I grew up with was. She's one of the best, at least for me, the best female Disney villain of all time, at least for me. And I really like the dynamic between Cinderella and Henry. There's a little bit, it's similar to how Snowing met when they were young. And I'm very interested to see how they're going with the story and a little bit of reference with the old. I still like Rumple as much as seasons past. Maybe this season will change my mind. I don't know, but I really like the whole concept of seeing new, refreshing stories with some of the old characters and some new. And I have to put an A+ to Alison Fernandez. She's playing like the female version of Henry, and when he was a little kid, when you get to Emma, it's like the same parallel when in the pilot when Henry took Emma to Storybrooke. It's just similar. She didn't believe him. She didn't believe the fairy tale. She was his son, and that she was the daughter of Snow White and Prince Charming. She didn't believe in that. She didn't believe in magic. She didn't believe in love. She didn't believe in walls. She was always up. And now it's the same with Henry. Only he's cursed, and Emma wasn't. That's the difference.
Definitely. Yes. I think I give props to everybody of like the new cast, Danya, Allison, Andrew, Makia, Gabrielle, because I know it is not easy coming in when you have an established show that's been on for so long with an established cast. It's not easy, especially when a lot of that established cast departs and you have to take up that void. It's difficult. They had to know coming in that it was not going to be easy pulling the bootstraps up and trying to keep the fan base's attention, their interest. I don't know if you were following on Tumblr on Friday night, but I could tell just based on the live tweeting or the live Tumblring. Usually when we live blog on Tumblr, we're up all night, like refreshed like crazy. But this time,
I know
it was nearly dead because I'm sure that this Friday's episode will be decidedly different considering it's Captain Swan heavy. But it seems like everybody was serious when they said that they didn't want to deal with any of this new stuff. I just feel like they should. If they treat it like a spinoff and try to give it a chance somehow, you would think if they love Killian as much as they do, that at least for him, if for nothing else. But a lot of the fans are there more for Emma, and I get it. It's hard to stick with something when someone you love is not there anymore. Believe me, I've been through a lot of stuff like this before. This is not my first show, so. I'm willing to give it a chance because I feel like the characters might be a bit rough now, and to me they say they are lacking that fairy tale enchanted quality to them. When I saw, the way that the flashbacks were done, like I was saying to Pip, it was like they were just plopped right into to the fairy tale world. It didn't feel like they belonged there. At least with the Snow White and Charming flashbacks, with the Cinderella flashbacks, and from all the other flashbacks had an intrinsic fairy tale quality of them. Everything was regal. It had that aura of fairy tale to it. This time it just felt like Jacinda was plopped into a fairy tale realm and had to kill the prince. She didn't seem very it was hard to connect with her because you didn't really feel any of the suffering that she went through. The way that what's her name? The actress that played the other one.
Jessie?
Jessica.
Jesse Schramm. The way that Jesse Schramm played it, both times that she was in it, in season 1 and in season 6, you felt her suffering. You felt everything that she was going through, all the crap that she had to put up with from her sisters, from her stepmother, all that lost hope, and then her desperation to keep that, almost to the point where she was willing to give up her own unborn child. You know, all of that